Continue. Written by Michael Rice. Read by the author.
Hot tears roll down Adam's face as he desperately attempts to regain control of his breathing. The great, unstoppable sobs are more than he knows what to do with, and they rack his body, causing him to fall to his knees as his physiology gives way to the whims of his psyche. The heat is oppressive, and the air has grown foul during the week that he, Kelly, and the boys have been trapped in this old arcade. The flies have become a problem, swarming up from the back in ever greater numbers and causing his skin to itch with their nearness. He glances for a moment in the direction of the flies, sees the three dark shapes lying beneath the swarm, then falls on his chest as another wave of racking sobs cause his arms to give way, and then... "Dad? What's wrong?" He catches his breath, though it still comes in short, shaky bursts. Nothing, Jay. He cocks his head for a moment, trying to remember what caused him to break down in the first place, then stands and attempts a smile. All of this, he says, gesturing in a wide semicircle towards the barricaded doors and boarded windows. Being trapped in here, knowing those things are out there, I guess it was just more than I could handle. Jay shrugs and looks down at his feet, but pushes no further. "Adam!" Kelly's voice calls from the back, and a moment later she steps past with Corey following close behind. Kelly hugs the boys and smiles at her husband. "I'm gonna see if I can dig anything else up from the freezer. Can you take the boys? Maybe play a few rounds of Pac-Man?" "I was the best at Pac-Man when I was your age," Adam says, grinning at his sons. "Come on. You'll love it." He walks towards the Pac-Man cabinet, then stops and clears his throat. Both boys are looking pleadingly up at their mother, who says something Adam can't hear with her back to him. "Boys," Adam says, and this time they follow. They reach Pac-Man, and Adam pulls out the ring of keys he found in the back office on the first night. He opens the Dig Dug cabinet, his back resolutely turned to the bloody cracks spiderwebbing out from the center of Donkey Kong Jr.'s screen, and uses the quarters inside to fire up Pac-Man. The endlessly optimistic melody bleeps out of the speakers, and the game is on. "You see, boys," Adam says, dodging the pink ghosts, then taking the shortcut from the left side of the screen to the right. "Part of what makes this such a great game is that even though you can never escape the ghosts," he slams the joystick right, then dodges left, then right again with his entire body before slamming the stick up and consuming the power pill. "You can eventually turn the tables and teach them who's boss." Laughing, Adam jerks the joystick back and forth, sending 4 pairs of cartoon eyes returning to the center of the maze. After completing the first level, he offers his spot to Jay, who shakes his head, then to Corey, who just stares at his feet. "Suit yourselves," Adam says, then returns to his place at the controls. After 15 minutes of bobbing, weaving, slamming the joystick, and a few choice curses he insists the boys never mention to their mother, Adam is finally caught by the ghosts. The speakers bleep, "Blue, blue, 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 whoop," and the screen flashes. "Continue? Insert coin." "You sure neither of you boys want to..." Both boys have walked off. Adam slams his fists down on the cabinet, then swats a fly as it lands on his shoulder. "Honey?" Adam doesn't turn around to face his wife. He takes a deep breath and lets his fist fall once more on the cabinet, this time with no more force than gravity provides. "There's no more food in the freezer," she says. "We may have to think about venturing out." This time when Adam's fists hit the cabinet, it sends a resounding boom through the arcade. "We've already discussed this, Kelly. If we go out there, those things will get us." "We don't know that." "They've gotten everyone else." "We don't know that either." "What about Jeff and Sandra?" "The ones who jumped off the pier?" Adam asks, still refusing to look back. "They said it doesn't look like those things can swim. They could have..." "They could have what, Kelly? What? Swam all the way from Santa Monica to somewhere those things couldn't reach them?" "No. They either drowned or got eaten as soon as they stepped on dry land. Adam, we can't stay here. We'll die if we do. We'll die if we don't! Adam shouts towards the front of the arcade, and his voice reverberates, filling the room. But at least we'll have a chance if we won't have a chance. There are no more chances. If we set one foot outside this place, we'll get eaten alive. Do you think things have gotten better since the world ended? I've spent too much time out there not to know that the world only exists to chew you up or swallow you whole. His words echo off the wall. The only other sounds are the buzzing of the flies and the bleeping of the arcade cabinets. When he turns around and sees his wife is gone, he feels the familiar heave in his chest as his empty stomach attempts to expel the food that is no longer there. It's late evening. Judging by the light seeping through the cracks in the boarded-up windows, there's at most half an hour of sunlight left. Daddy? It's Corey, his youngest, with sweat dripping from his brow and cheeks growing flush. Can we go swimming? No. But Mom found a hatch. She says we can drop straight down into the water and... I said no. But why? Corey asked the back of his father. It's so hot and it smells in here. It smells like it smells like death, Corey. It's the stench of the bodies strewn across the pier, bobbing in the water. But Dad, this is the only safe place we have. Do you hear me? Adam spins around, his fists clenched, his nostrils flaring, only to discover that his son has run off behind the cabinets. The buzzing of the flies digs at the back of his mind, and he turns away once more. His breathing is strained, his heart is racing, and despite all his efforts, he can do nothing to calm his mounting rage. Why are you keeping them here? Adam swallows. The sound of his wife's voice can't soothe him entirely, but it has always taken the edge off. This place was all I had, Adam says. When you were a boy? Adam nods. When my dad would storm around the house, this is where I'd go. I'd hear it coming, in his tone or turn of phrase, and I'd know what was next. I'd slip out the nearest door, window, whatever, and just run. Sometimes when I took too long, I'd hear them hit the walls as his temper boiled over, and I would run all the faster for fear that he'd see me, chase me down, and drag me back into his world. I'd run until I reached the pier, then I'd slip a quarter in the Pac-Man machine and go straight for the power pill. Then I was the one who chased them. I used to wonder how he could do that to my mother, to my brother. He'd always say things like, I gotta teach you some respect, or don't make me tell you twice, but it never sounded like they were being disrespectful. What made it worse was afterwards, the way he'd act like nothing even happened. I'd go home and he'd just be sitting there watching the Angels game and calling for my mother to bring him a beer. She'd come out with her face all swollen, hand him the damn thing, and he'd just say, thanks, babe. Like her face wasn't turning purple right in front of him. I guess people like that will make themselves believe anything just to keep their delusions alive. So you're keeping us here to protect us from him? Adam says nothing. From a man who yells and stomps and slams his fists? Adam's hands clench. I'm nothing like him. I'm trying to keep you safe. Can't you see that? Adam, I just meant nothing, he screams. Can't you see what's good for you? The sound of bare feet pattering towards him causes Adam to glance to his right. Jay runs up to him in just a pair of shorts, clinging to an inflatable octopus he pulled off the prize wall. Mom found a way for us to... Adam doesn't hear the rest of his son's sentence as a fly buzzes in his ear. He slaps at it, doing nothing more than setting his ears ringing. The heat constricts his breathing. His skin itches from the sweat and the flies, and now his son is standing here, expecting him to allow them to swim after he told them twice, and there is no way in hell they are going out there. An animalistic cry escapes Adam's lips, and he reaches both hands out towards the boy. He is going to throttle him and put his head through the screen of the nearest cabinet. "Come here, you! I gotta teach you some respect!" His hands close around nothing, slamming together where the boy's neck was an instant before. Outraged and confused, Adam staggers back, falling against a row of cabinets. His son was there only a moment before. He was there, he was right there, and now he's... Adam's gaze moves slowly towards the back of the arcade, and hot tears roll down his face as he desperately attempts to regain control of his breathing. The great, unstoppable sobs are more than he knows what to do with, and they rack his body, causing him to fall to his knees as his physiology gives way to the whims of his psyche. The heat is oppressive, and the air has grown foul during the week that he, Kelly, and the boys have been trapped in this old arcade. The flies have become a problem, swarming up from the back in ever greater numbers and causing his skin to itch with their nearness. Glances for a moment in the direction of the flies, sees the three dark shapes lying beneath the swarm, then falls on his chest as another wave of racking sobs cause his arms to give way, and then... "Dad, what's wrong?"
We hope you've enjoyed this recording of Continue by Michael Rice, for Horsemen and Company production. Continue is produced and directed by Kyle Kimlick. Sound design by Michael Rice. Text copyright Michael Rice, 2022. Recording copyright for Horsemen and Company, 2023. All rights reserved.